Welcome to Looking for Geeks. We're going to try something a little bit different here. As I mentioned before, I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and we're going to do a wrap-up of Ring of Honor for this week. No one else is really covering Ring of Honor very much, so I thought I'd give it a shot and see where we go. So, first off tonight, we have the September 16th edition of Ring of Honor Weekly TV. We start off with Jay Lethal in the ring, who's putting over his previous opponents, including Roderick Strong, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and of course last week's opponent, Jonathan Gresham, which went for a 30-minute Iron Man match, which was pretty amazing. Lethal talks about putting wrestling over stories, which is, in Ring of Honor, that's true, the wrestling is really important, but the stories are always just as important. It's just more a believable story rather than sports entertainment style stories. Lethal decides to do the Lethal Challenge instead of a regular Open Challenge, which is answered by, surprise to everyone, Will Ospreay from New Japan. Will Ospreay used to wrestle in Ring of Honor years back, but this is the first time he's been back in quite a while. So this should be an interesting match they've set up for Death Before Dishonor. The next match we have is the Women of Honor. We have Tasha Steelz against Sumi Sakai, the champion. This is a Proving Ground match. My understanding of this is newer wrestlers getting a shot at one of the more established stars in Ring of Honor, just to show that they can really hang with them. And this match was not a disappointment whatsoever. Steelz had some strong heel work on the outside of the ring early in the match, but once it went back inside, Sumi really took control, and minus a couple of small reversals, it was her match to win. But that's to be expected since she is the Women of Honor champion. Speaking of which, we come back and they have an announcement in the ring that the Women of Honor title is now going to be referred to as the Women of Honor World Championship. But to prove that she's worthy of a world title, Sumi challenges Tenille Dashwood, who you might recognize from her older WWE days, and she's making quite a name for herself in Ring of Honor as well. This first Women of Honor World Championship match will also take place at Death Before Dishonored. In between, we also have a great promo of the Bullet Club setting up their match at Death Before Dishonored against Chaos. Next, we have some more setup for Death Before Dishonored, where we have Jonathan Gresham in the ring, who is of course interrupted by Bully Ray, who goes on to call us a Piper's Pit style segment, which isn't too inaccurate, but he goes on to call Gresham a jobber, which is not going to make anybody happy. Gresham challenges Bully to a match, who actually accepts it, surprisingly. Of course, the match only lasted about 2 seconds until Bully hit the low blow, which caused Flip Gordon to come out and make the save, sort of. Of course, he gets the beat down by Bully, as he has been for several weeks now. But this is also then followed by Jay Lethal making another save, but then Bully gets saved by Silas Young. I guess they're friends? Of course, this sets up a match for next week, which is going to be Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham against Bully Ray and Cyrus Young. Next, we have a package promoting the Chris Sabin versus Punishment Martinez match for Death Before Dishonored for the TV title. In the main event, we have SCU against Punishment Martinez and the Briscoe brothers. This is kind of a preview match since we have The Addiction versus the Briscoes at Death Before Dishonor for the tag titles, as well as the previously mentioned Sabin and Martinez match for the TV title. Predictably, this match does not start with the Code of Honor. In a fairly standard 3-on-3 match, Daniels plays the face in peril for a good portion of it. He does get the hot tag Scorpio Sky, which unfortunately doesn't last long and the heels continue to clean house. Kazarian gets the first near fall of the match. Daniels gets some high flying, as he's known for. This breaks down naturally and the heels bring some chairs in. The first to go out is the ref, which means that it's just going to be a heel beatdown from here on out. Although, we do have Sabin on the outside, who is doing play-by-play commentary, and he decides to get involved and chases Punishment Martinez out of the match. This leads SCU to hit the best Meltzer driver ever for the win, which is the final setup for the Addiction versus the Briscoes at Death Before Dishonored. This was a solid final setup for the Death Before Dishonored show coming up next weekend, and I look forward to seeing what happens there. This is Looking for Geeks. I'm Kane. Thanks for joining us. I think this is the last one before.